Hi everyone, it's Ethan McKinley. It's the 2-Minute Terminator, and we're back. This week I've worked with some of the most famous people on the planet, only in a role of servitude of course, and Ellie's got fired from her job. It's episode 33, where we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. We're going from minutes 64 to 66. The charming and wonderful soaring score in the background is being composed and performed by Jackman for the X-Men First Class film, which in my humble opinion and many others is the best X-Men film of all of them. When control was wrestled out of the hands of the get in my Paul Brian Singer gay film director X-Men films up to that point, who departed the project in X-Men 3 of course to direct Superman Returns, which wasn't well received, and then saw what Matthew Vaughn of Kick-Ass did with the amazing X-Men First Class when I Want In, and then he like muscled his way back into the franchise and made basically X-Men Days of Future Past, which was a step up from the previous X-Men films, but not quite the comic book X-Men we all come to love in the 1990s. Hit the music!
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
Hi, I'm Chief Master Sergeant William Candy.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
So Ellie, welcome back to the show. We've
Hello.
had nearly a week off.
I know.
We're hopefully going to get you out of your funk,
What's a funk?
that you hated your job and decided to just leave.
That's not why I'm in the mood that I'm in.
Oh, why are you in the mood then?
Let's not talk about that now.
Well, what is it?
I want to talk about
Is
that
it
now.
dog tags?
So we are going from. Well, actually, we've got a mailbag.
We've got mailbag. We are at minutes, the 1 hour 4 minute mark to the 1 hour 6 minute mark, and it's basically the Terminator, the T850, the slightly upgraded Terminator, explaining that the world will actually end in about today in 2 hours.
We just discovered that this is Judgment Day.
Is it Judgment Day today, and it ends with the RV on the desert road onto their next adventure?
It does indeed.
But in the meantime, we have a listener writing in, James Spaldner, and he's got a letter for us.
Amazing. Thanks, James. Hi, guys. Ethan, here's a rundown. Oh, I must remember to speak into the mic. Here's a rundown on bullets and black powder. I don't have a good memory of the scene from First Blood, but black powder burns in a quick flash. Put a match to a small pile and you get a lightning fast flash and poof of smoke. Poof. Pile up enough and you get a bigger result. If you contain it in something and put a match to it, you'll get a bang. Okay. There are different variations of black powder, some fast burning and a safer slow burning kind. Bullets use different variations and amounts to get different results from the bullet itself. If you want to hit something a mile away, you'll use more powder in the shell that burns faster. These are called hot loads.
Helly loves those.
Not to be confused with other hot loads, as our immature minds know them. Ellie would
You already knew what I was going to say.
Ellie would have to be your expert opinion for those kinds. If you want a round... Whoa, my eyebrow just did a weird twitchy thing. If you want a round with subsonic speed, that will be almost soundless when silenced, you use a powder with less punch. Most bullets that are mass-produced use a safer variant of powder. In fact, it's not really even the same thing as black powder inside the castings anymore. Science has stepped in and made its own improvements. If you throw a handful of bullets into a fire, you'll essentially get a bunch of firecrackers going off. The shells pop and burst and don't shoot bullets in all directions. That's not to say that it won't happen and it won't get hit by anything. It's still a stupid thing to do, but a bullet needs to be contained in a gun's chamber to fire the projectile and not just burst. So I thought. So the giant explosion in First Blood was probably more movie magic gasoline effect and less realism of bullets actually cooking off in a fire. Well, there we go. James Spaldner with his gun
So you
and
can't
bullets
heat a bullet up and make it blow
and
up.
gunpowder knowledge.
Oh, what in every movie though they make a fire. They like if there's like an arsenal or a weapons cache. When soon as the flames start to heat the bullets up, they also go pew, especially in westerns and stuff.
Oh, I missed Fact Attack.
Speaking of westerns, Ellie.
Yes.
There's a western called Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood that you should watch.
Oh, really?
And there's the espionage thriller Firefox, which I think you'd really like as well,
Okay.
where Clint Eastwood had to steal that like stealth plane from their version of Area 51.
I think the only Clint Eastwood film I can remember is Escape from Alcatraz.
Yes, you've mentioned that several times.
I've mentioned it once.
No, you were because we saw Unsolved Mysteries. They made the paper mache heads, but the actual paper mache heads that were in Unsolved Mysteries, the actual ones from the, I guess, the Escape, were terrible.
They were
they fall anyway? I have
Pretty
no
damn
idea.
bad.
The one in the movie is actually quite good. You're like, all right, it looks like Clint with leprosy.
Yeah, but that's probably because that's the movies. In real life, they wouldn't have had like the necessary skill or paint to make it an
Materials.
incredible job. But no, that's that and $1 Million Baby, but that's like new Clint Eastwood, so it probably doesn't really count. But I thought $1 Million Baby was great. A bit depressing, but good.
a bit depressing. Did you not think she was going to come back and become a
I
boxer
did.
again?
I did. She was fucking badass, though. I really liked her.
She went in the hospital. She lost a fucking leg, then her arm, then something
and
else,
then had
and
a
then he
broken
killed her.
neck.
And then he kills her.
No, she gets killed by the other female boxer who looks like Vanessa Williams.
No, but then her
No, Serena
her
Williams.
rehabilitation for the rest of the film, he's looking after her basically, and he just
Yeah, but that's what killed her, really.
finishes her off with a jack.
That'd have finished me off. Fucking hell. Neck. No, what was it? Chair to the neck. Give him the chair. Give him the chair. Right. So I've got my notes.
You've got some notes. Yeah, the scene is basically the Terminator is explaining to John that we've got 2 hours to live basically, unless we get to this like nuclear bunker.
Today is Judgment Day.
They've all got kind of separate missions. John doesn't want actually to be involved really, to the point of threatening to shoot himself in the head.
Such a faggot, man. I hate this kid so much.
Arnold, of course, is to protect John Connor, and Kate Brewster's mission now, she's, I guess, on board and believes this, is to actually
that
save
freeze
her
frame's
father.
amazing.
That's what she wants to happen.
So yeah, my first qualm is, why is it not part of the Terminator's program to also save Kate's dad? Surely that would make a hell of a lot of sense in saving the future of mankind, no?
Because that's not part of his mission protocols. He's got to save, well, the secondary mission protocols, obviously to obtain John Connor.
I get that,
And also
but the whole
protect his
protocol
lieutenants
would
and
be
potential future generals, which he hasn't done.
the whole protocol would be null and void if everyone else dies and just John Connor lives. Or I don't know. I just think that for the longevity of humankind, it would make sense to protect all of them, no? Not just John. Like John says, even though he's an absolute Nancy pants.
Little Nazi boy, you Connor. And
He-
the world getting you down.
He, if he did just sit in a cave, locked away, and didn't get killed by the nuclear weapons, what good is that going to do the future war? Or do you know what I mean? To me, it doesn't make sense.
Well,
If saving Kate's
the
Brewster's
Terminator does
dad-
mention that one of the potential targets for the Terminator, this is why Kate's now on board with the idea, is that her father is a potential individual target as a way of drawing them, or drawing Kate closer to her father, because that will entail probably John being with her at the same time. Because they've got the same programming and mission parameters, I'm assuming they're all thinking along the same lines that all the previous Terminators did. So, you know, it's not really...
But that was in the past, though. That isn't 3 hours before Judgment Day.
No, that's true. Sorry,
Are
just
you
yawned
sleepy?
there. A little bit, yeah.
Why are you so sleepy?
I don't know. I think it's just the stress of working those last, 3 days.
We'll talk about that in a minute, I promise. We all want to hear about your party lifestyle. But, yeah. My second question, would bargaining with the Terminator actually work? So we see John threatening to kill himself, which I think is just ridiculous. Again, it just shows how erratic John is, how I wouldn't ever see him as a leader in any way, shape or form, or a potential father. I wouldn't look at him and go, cool, I want to mother his children.
No, he's not. But he's not trying to do it with the Terminator. He's trying to gain step in a sense that he's like, oh, the last Terminator did everything that I said, and this was like, well, I'm a bit more.
Yeah, but
advanced than
he's already told him that he's not. His command isn't to do everything that John says. He already knows that. So my point being is, by pointing a gun to his head and bargaining with the Terminator, which then comes to another point that I want to bring up in a minute. I just don't know that bargaining with the Terminator would actually work.
Well, as we've seen in this clip, it doesn't.
Yeah, well,
He's got the gun to his head. He says, I can tell by your skin temperature and this and that, and the color of your socks is that you don't intend to kill yourself. There's an 83% chance you won't.
Yeah, how has he calculated 83%?
Because he's probably, it's like the blush response in Blade Runner, isn't it? They just like they look in, and he's scanning in for like I guess pupil dilation, how much he's perspiring, the temperature of his skin, as he mentions, and I guess you'd take what you'd learn if you were like some kind of lie detecting person, whatever the future technology of that is, the algorithm that kind of like studies a subject to see if they're actually lying or serious about what they're saying.
I get that, but with a lie detector test, you have to have your like fingertips or something else like hooked up to a machine to actually be able to read that.
Not in the Skynet future, he's probably just scanning him. He's probably got some invisible beam on his body, collating information.
Yeah, but then you could then bring up the fact that earlier on in the film, the TX, who's an even more advanced person, couldn't tell just by looking at someone who they were. They had to lick their blood.
Lick my blood.
Do you know what I mean? It's just all very... This film is just so inconsistent. It's unreal. Another question. Let's say John had shot himself.
Yeah. Pulled
the trigger. Probably did the most heroic thing he could ever do.
Yeah.
Do we... Oh my god. That's not obtrusive in my face. Face him! Yeah, if John actually did kill himself, what would that then mean for the Terminator and the other TX? And if he shot himself, do you think the TX would be aware? Would something go off in her scanner or her brain that would go, prime target's been murked?
No. She'd have to find that after the fact. Terminator would probably just keep his head down and try and stay out of trouble.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What would then happen to the T-800? Would he shut down? Or would he just like go and find a cave and just hang out?
If it was another Terminator, I'd probably say just...
Go home and stay out of trouble.
Well, the one in Terminator Genesis just continues to live
Come
his
quietly
life.
or there'll be trouble.
He just lives his life, doesn't he, that Terminator? This Terminator is a bit...
He does, but because he knows that he's going to meet up with John and Sarah... No, not John and Sarah. Sarah and Kyle.
Yes.
He kind of waits out, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And collects all the guns together.
He does.
So he's got a purpose to just sit in
but
a cave
he's not
and just
T850.
wait.
This is just the T101, T800. The one in Genesis, this is the T850. This is like the one that's had like, or like hostage negotiation trading, psychology. This is like obviously a more advanced version of the...
Well, this Terminator can tell if you're bloody lying or not.
That's what that's what I mean. He's got like he's got people studied and more down than that.
Yes. So this comes on to my next point.
He's guilty of nothing more. You just had to turn her notes over then.
So John is trying to bargain with the Terminator, saying, we've got to save Catherine's father. He's integral. If you don't, I'm going to shoot myself. Goodbye to the legendary John Connor. Although that statement's just an oxymoron in itself. What does an oxymoron mean, Ethan?
When you say something but it means the opposite.
When you put two opposites together in the same sentence, like next to each other. So it's like a hot ice cream. So legendary John is an oxymoron in my eyes.
Legendary?
John. He said, what will happen to the legendary John if I shoot myself?
I wouldn't really say it's an oxymoron because he does become legendary.
No, but I'm just saying in my opinion, right now, he's an absolute...
Who cares what your opinion is, Daddy?
I care. And I'm half of this show.
This new Ellie we've got this week is quite this tempered, fact-based, serious co-host.
I know.
I like it.
Sign of things to come. So, yeah, he's trying to bargain with the Terminator, which doesn't work. And then Catherine pipes up and goes, no, listen to him. We've got to save my father. All of a sudden, oh, that's it, Swade. The boobs have spoken. Okay, we can get there in an hour. What?
Well, at this point, Kate...
Why so... Yeah, but why would Kate have more of a sway with the Terminator than John?
Because she's now a kind of an accomplice on his mission. She's seen her has understood that her fiance's been killed because he kind of like turned way too early before he got to her and went, "Look at the powers I have to change my face," and then took a header into a gravestone. And then they were chase.
Don't
She
laugh
shot
into
in
the
the
mic,
face.
Ellie.
They drove under a truck. They've been through a lot. She's obviously, like.
No,
oh,
I
so
know.
This machine thing is real. She's not really siding with the Terminator. She's just
No,
like.
dude, you've completely misunderstood what I'm saying. She is
Bananas.
siding with John, and she's saying, "No, look, listen to him. You need to save my father. You have to help us do that." And then the Terminator goes, "Okay, well, we can make it to the place in an hour." Why, after John threatening to shoot himself, does that not have more sway than the Terminator, than Catherine saying, "Oh no, you've got to save my dad"? Why would the Terminator listen to her and not John? That's the point I'm making.
Because, like I said before, she's now an accomplice with the Terminator. He knows, he knows John's not going to do it. Like I just said, he's like studied him psychologically and physically, and he's pretty sure, 83%, that he's not going to pull the trigger.
My mum keeps calling me.
Why does she keep calling you?
I don't know. Don't answer it.
Mama.
Well, that's her mobile. That's her iPhone. She put it in. Not me. I don't
Does
use
she not
mama.
spell?
Huh?
Oh, we're going after the mums again. Coal barrel.
Oh, my mum doesn't give a fuck.
I know.
She's good like that. She knows her place.
And it's wrinkled. Oh, so you say she knows her face?
At least she loves me.
Well, she's on board with the Terminator because he's the guy that's going to get things done. He's proved he's a machine. She knows what's going on now. John's being a bit of a silly billy, going, "I'll kill myself if we don't do this, this, and this." She's siding with the Terminator because the Terminator kind of is the only kind of like steady, I guess. Not steady.
Oh no, I totally agree. Well, no, she's not. No, but she's not siding with the Terminator, is she? She's siding with
Well,
John.
why the Terminator didn't come up with this idea himself, I have no idea. Because the nearest place they can get to, if it's an hour and a half away, is this nuclear base.
I know.
What would they
That's
have
what I
done?
mean. The
Have
whole thing. They should have. That should have been part of
weren't
his
they
protocol.
heading to that anyway?
I thought so. Yeah.
Because I always thought that, but I
Yeah.
guess not.
Well, where the hell would they have gone from
So
here?
if they'd driven in the other direction,
Do you reckon he was just going to camp out at this campsite?
yeah. And he's like, "Oh, by the way, the world's going to end in 50 minutes. Where can we go?" And well, if we'd gone south, we'd have been near.
You want to get in this paedophile van?
They've got into the base as well. More to the point.
And
Especially
also
when the base would be on high alert, like because it counter strikes like what Russia is firing because it takes over the Russian defense network and fires missiles at America. The counter strike from America is what destroys both sides essentially and starts the end of the world in the nuclear winter that the obviously Skynet starts world building in.
So
I'm bad.
this is kind of also another qualm with this is it kind of shows that the Terminator's deviating away from his programming.
Yes.
What? Do you know what I mean? It's just all a bit confused.
Yeah.
I'm just not quite sure where this Terminator stands, and this comes to my final, my biggest qualm, and I think it's kind of just hit me in this 2 minutes. I think the reason I dislike this film so much, not just because John Connor's rubbish, but
Poor Nick, he's trying his hardest.
for me, the Terminator films are all about Arnold Schwarzenegger being the Terminator, and this particular Terminator, I can't warm to him. I can't, I don't know. I can't.
But is that just the general feel of the film? Because I guess Arnold's playing.
I can't
the
connect
same
with him.
character.
That's what I'm trying to say. I
Why
can't
is
connect.
That? Because he's
Well,
not
because-
robotic enough.
No, he's too. I think he's too robotic. He's too much of a cybernetic organism.
Do you not think he's too human in this?
Not at all. Not at all. He's got no. I think because in Terminator 2, obviously they took the chip out of his head, so he was able to think a little bit more independently, and he's trying to become a bit more human-like.
Whereas this Terminator is just causing trouble
And in
the
the
office.
end, it is kind of like a father-son relationship. And you do think, at the very end when the Terminator is being put into the molten metal, the fact that he turns his hand and gives a thumbs up, that's character. That's like a personality.
Well, he's got a personality.
He
This
d-
just
he
guy has a mission,
doesn't.
and you can't hoodwink him. That's
But
what
you
don't
can,
like.
because Bruce has just done it. She's just gone, no, we need to go get my dad. He's like, all right, then we'll drive an hour
Yeah.
and go and save your dad. It's not part of the plan, but fuck it. We'll do it.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, but
I
Arnold
can't
plays the same
connect with
character in
this.
every film.
But no, he doesn't. He is so different in this film. We've got the dirty electro face.
Dirty Electro face.
The I smell shit face.
I think it's one of the best scores of the last 5 years. The X-Men First Class score, really good.
That was weird. Can I just mention to all the listeners that Ethan has shaved off all of his facial hair, and
Let's
it's
consider cutting his hair.
it's really quite creepy. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think I'm used to. Do you like it?
No, I hate my face that anyway because I don't think my features are that strong.
So why did you shave it all off?
Because I didn't have any clippers to cut it down to stubble.
Just cut it with scissors, no? Does that not
I
work?
cut it down with scissors, but you can never get an even thing. So
So that's it. It's all gone.
yeah.
What's that? Get over there. We'll put a picture on the page, and we'll.
We've done it before. Got a plain and boring face.
No, you don't.
I do.
I don't.
No cheekbones, a pointy chin. I'm a bit like an Hispanic Bruce Forsyth. Pictures of Bruce Forsyth.
You're Chesney Hawks, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's that kind of like rhombus trapezoid shaped head
And you've got a mole.
with a mole. Kind of a clear mole though.
It's a clear
Like a
mole.
lump.
He has a lumpy face. Yeah. So they're kind of all the points that I want to pick out on this particular 2 minutes. But Ethan, do tell us about the.
The trivia schmivia.
Is there trivia?
There's a piece of trivia. The scene we're actually watching where he explains how the war starts and Judgment Day is about to begin in about 2 hours' time. That took 3 days to film.
This scene?
This scene.
Why? Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
this scene
musical
took
justice.
3 days film, really? Good times.
Good times.
Yeah, it took 3 days. I've got nothing else beyond that, really. So thank you for filling the show with your wares.
But I want you to tell people about this party that you've worked at the last couple of days.
Well, on
Explain the
Monday,
people that you've met.
There's a new film out called Grimsby, which stars Sacha Baron Cohen and Mark Strong. Mark Strong is a super secret agent, and his ne'er-do-well brother is like a football hooligan in Grimsby. And Rebel Wilson's in it, and the chick from Precious, the black chick. I forgot what her name is. But anyway, those two are in it as like the two fat birds. And I'll put a
Keep
I'll put
going.
a link under the film.
So yeah, the party that you worked at, Grimsby.
Yes.
Keep going.
Well, essentially, I worked the after premiere after party with who was there? Where do I start? Oh my God, where's my phone?
Right, I'll tell you who was there.
Who was there? Tell me who was there.
Right, so I got a message from Ethan on Tuesday evening that just said, Kate Moss, Tilda Swinton, Muse, Bob Geldof, and the Divine David. People will talk.
I actually wrote down more people. Hang on.
Oh. Yeah, so in case anyone doesn't know, Ethan works at these particular events.
I bartend at like rich people events.
He's,
Right, Rocco Ritchie was there.
he's a
which was
mixologist. Just
Madonna's
think
son
cocktail.
With Guy Ritchie, who looks a bit like a potato. Guy Ritchie was there. Georgia May Jagger, the Mick Jagger daughter with the big lips and
Who
the gap
you
between
said
the teeth.
isn't actually that attractive in real life.
Well, I don't think she's that hot anyway. She's got the component parts that you'd go, "Ooh, she's amazing."
I think
for
I think the
most
teeth are a
people-
bit big.
Yeah, too big. Noel Gallagher was there, but I didn't see him until the end. Jefferson Hack, who was the father of Kate Moss's child, who started Days magazine, and now he does a magazine called Another Magazine. That was the party that was Tuesday. Pam Hogg, who looks a bit like a young, hotter, youthful, what's her name?
Vivian Westwood.
Vivian Westwood.
I
She
knew
looks
you
like
were
her
gonna
with
say
yellow
that.
hair. James Norton from Grantchester. All the A-listers. An actor called Matthias Schoenertz, who was in The Drop with Tom Hardy. He was the baddie in that Tom Hardy shoots. Sorry, spoilers. He's in A Little Chaos. An
You
Alan
really are
Rickman
rotten
film.
shit.
And Tom Hooper was there, the director of The King's Speech. He also did The Danish Girl, which Ellie wants to see for some reason.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's got Eddie Redmayne in it, and I think he's really hot.
He's not hot, Ellie. He's got awful skin. Clearly a smoker. Looks weird. And Mark Strong was there. Tilda Swinton we've already met. David Baddiel. So the two people I talked to more than anyone. Sacha Baron Cohen was there himself, Ali G. But the two people I talked to mainly was when I was outside getting a burger on my break. I was standing next to this little dishevelled Jewish guy who turned out to be David Baddiel, and he was like talking to me about stuff. I was like, "Is the film?" And he goes like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." Are these
And
burgers any good?
And
I
what
was
went
like,
through your head when you were talking to him?
Joe.
Hebe. When I spoke to you, you were like, as soon as I realised who it was, I just thought, oh God, Ellie would just be like, Jew.
Is this guy Jewish?
God, look.
Yeah.
I'm like a shark, like for Jews. I can literally spot them like 100 miles away.
Well, at these parties, you're not really supposed to speak.
Your mind. It's like that in offices, mate.
No, you're not. You're not supposed to
Speak to the rich and famous.
Yeah, I suppose because.
But Ethan doesn't give a fuck, mate.
You have to sign a non-disclosure agreement as well. So if you see anything,
What?
yeah, you have to sign like the 3-page non-disclosure agreement.
What? Every event that you work?
Yeah, because if you see Kate Moss doing a ton of coke and getting railed by 3 different guys on a couch,
And one of them's black.
and you took a photo with your iPhone, you could sell it for like 100 grand to the Sun.
Why don't you do that? Think of all the equipment you could buy.
Court fees would probably be greater than 100 grand. I'm going to write Mickey Mouse on the next form. Well, we've got your form here, Ethan.
Just sign it, Foghorn
And
Leghorn.
it says, yeah, well, we've got your, well, Mr. McKinley, we've got a, and I'd like the court to see that we have this non-disclosure agreement signed by Foghorn Leghorn. And I was just there gloating on the dock going, didn't look at the document before you started this case, did you? I didn't sign it.
That's amazing.
So
Dressed
you
as
have
a
to
massive
sign,
chicken.
Non-disclosure. So the first night was the Grimsby premiere party, and I've learnt now. I think we all kind of knew this, even if you're not part of the fashion world. The next day was the Jefferson Hack 15th birthday for another magazine. He, by the way, was very polite and nice. Everyone else there was pretty much awful. No one like that was famous, but all the kind of people that kind of blagged their way in or were connected to someone that connected to that magazine
Fashionistas.
were just awful people. They were just ordering drink after drink after drink, not even drinking them. The Matthew Freud, who's the grandson of Sigmund Freud, who owns the house, runs Freud PR, Freud Communications, the biggest communications PR company in the world, who's worth $500 million. 500 million until he got divorced. Now he's only worth 250 allegedly.
Jesus.
Because he was married to.
Don't get married, for God's sake.
He was married to Robert Maxwell's
Especially if you've
daughter.
got money.
But yeah, he's really lovely as well. And yeah, like this dude's house was wrecked. There were drinks spilled up the wall.
Who was the guy that was like, "Oh, go on, get me another drink"? And you're like, "I'm really sorry, mate, but
Matthias
it's closed."
Schoenaerts, the Belgian actor.
He was like begging Ethan for a drink, and
And I
Ethan was
was
just
like,
like,
"Look,
"No,
Just because your life's turned where you want it to and mine hasn't.
I'm in control.
Oh,
I won the drinks."
So that's why they put weak people in power, Lee, because then they get a chance to subjugate you and go, I'm going to make your life miserable because I suck.
Well, yeah, every single policeman out
No,
there.
it wasn't that. It's only because they were like, the manager was there. I would just give people drinks. I don't care. Like, if the person's asked nicely and it's not going to hurt anyone, you have a fucking drink. I don't give a fuck.
Mm.
And I'm like that in anything I do. Like, I'm not a job's worth at all because I always question people that are jobs worth. Like, if you won the warranty, I've won the warranty. If you won the lottery, would you still do this job? If the answer is no, then you're getting too involved with this situation, getting too angry with me because I'm asking a reasonable thing, and any human being would go, yeah, fuck it, why not? And I'm that guy. So yeah, but I don't know like how much of a gangster Mr. Freud is though, because when I said it to like nearly
Take
everyone,
another melancholy turn.
when I said it to
This
most,
guy just really wanted a drink.
when I said it to most people, and I go, "Oh, Mr. Freud said I couldn't sell any more drinks," they go, "Oh, okay." So yeah, very powerful man. But all the real people like Naomi Campbell and stuff, they went upstairs to like the.
Oh, was
second,
Naomi there?
But I didn't see her, and I saw Liv Tyler. She was there at the very end. Very
Great,
pregnant.
Chibs.
I didn't see her.
Very pregnant.
Yeah.
She pregnant? Oh wow.
Well, she certainly looked like she was. Certainly looked like she was. So no, the first night, because it was a film night, and the last time it was like, all the ones I've ever done have been, the only thing I did before that was the GQ Style Awards. That was fashion, but it was all film people.
Fashion.
So
Turn
Paul
to the
Rudd was there,
left.
Will Ferrell, which was really surreal.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah, so there was usually, now I know, well, now I definitely know, because Tuesday was awful. For the film people, it was very polite and nice, and you can kind of talk to them, they'll just talk to you.
And have the ability to keep the liquids in their glasses.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this rug.
You
how
told
much
me.
This rug cost.
It upsets you enough watching Flavor Flav pour out bottles of champagne onto the ground when he evicts someone.
Napkins and thrown them all over this guy's carpet. The whole floor is wooden. You know what? This house is basically a glass bungalow, and it's in a mews, and there are mews in London.
Can we say where it is?
It's in Primrose Hill.
There we go.
But like everyone lives, Jude Law lives there. I think he used to anyway. Ewan McGregor lives there. All the rich and famous live in this tiny kind of almost village atmosphere, which is right next to Camden, in between Camden and London Zoo, where Primrose Hill Park is, and all the houses are like 5 and 15 million. So unless you've made it big, you could never live at Primrose Hill. So this guy is that rich, and because he throws these lavish PR parties, so he doesn't upset his neighbours. He lives in a mews, which essentially is horse stables. Mews, if you don't know what a mews is, it's MEWS, and it's a little cul-de-sac road which is cobblestone, and they would keep horses in there for all the rich people that lived in the mansions. So what this guy's done, there's no longer horse stables down in this little mews, which is like a little, it's the shape of a beaker, isn't it? Like a Bunsen burner beaker thing. It's like a narrow road.
It's like a horseshoe almost.
And it opens into this square area where stables would have been. This guy, there's no stables there anymore. It's like this glass bungalow, a bit like the one in Diamonds Are Forever, when Sean Connery has to fight Domino, the black lady, and the other chick. Is it Domino? Whatever, anyway. So basically, it's this lovely mezzanine.
It's the face you pull when you're doing Sean.
Mezzanine glass bungalow. And just so I guess.
Why was Michael Caine never Bond?
Because he's got the money. Well, we'll come to that. It kind of was. Because he's got the money, he's bought the adjacent houses on each side of the mews.
So he doesn't upset his neighbours.
He's got
smart move.
One child in one house and his other kid in the other. I think he's got several children, but I think the ones that live there with him have a house each.
I need that. My neighbours are
not
wankers.
like these like 4-story houses like the ones off Mary Poppins, where they now break them up into multiple flats. The entire house, all the way up 4 or 5 stories. So he just throws these like lavish PR pies. What was I going to say? Anyway, it's all beautifully decorated. He's an art collector, so he's got a real Banksy on the wall. He's got real Grayson Perry's on the wall. Like his tapestries, God knows what they cost. Because like, I think one of the paintings he's done is like 15 grand. So what a 25-foot long and 8-foot high tapestry is worth, I have no idea. So this is the kind of money we're talking.
Are you never tempted to just like walk by with like an open flame and just go, oh.
Just singe the corner.
Yeah. That was me.
So yeah, but he's got everything in there is like more than top of the line, and he's got a rug in there with a grand piano. This rug, I thought someone had torn up napkins and thrown them on top of the thing. It was the surface layer off this fucking rug, and there were drinks spilled in it. People had been outside, come back in again. There were dirty marks on it, mud.
Do they smoke inside?
One person came onto the bar and was smoking. Before I tell you what the F.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me this.
I went, what the and it was Kate Moss. I was
like, what the Moss? Hello.
Hello, Kate Moss.
What does Kate Moss drink?
She was getting champagne.
Ugh.
Most people are asking for vodka, and as things gradually ran out, they're asking for anything, which gets really weird. Because like at that point in the night, it doesn't matter anymore. They just want booze, which is like when you're at that point, you should stop.
But that's the nature of the beast, I'm afraid.
So yeah, the Tuesday night was all the fashion people. That was quite horrible. It felt like a 1,000,000-hour shift, even though it was only 10 hours.
Only.
The day before was like 7 hours, but everyone there was quite nice and polite. In particular, shout out to Mark Strong, who is in Kingsman, Rock and Roller. He's the bad guy out of Sherlock Holmes. He's got the bald head. He was really nice. He talked to me about whiskey and stuff.
Whiskey.
And I asked him about Kingsman 2, and he goes, "I don't know if I'm in it yet."
And he went, "Can I be in it, please?"
So yeah, he was.
I'm good at acting.
One of the few famous people that has met and exceeded my expectations as a famous person. But as I said, in famous people's defence, I guess you're constantly hassled by people, either for your autograph, which I guess you have to capitulate to that a bit because you're the reason. People like that are the reason you exist in a sense. That will pay for the tickets and.
That's an Alan Partridge. There's people like us that make us who you are. Well, I disagree with that, but carry on.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's what people?
I completely understand, but I think if you want to be famous, that just comes with it. You have to suck it up. I
don't get it when people get angry at people.
You can't have a private life. You're going to have people to come up to you. That's the price of fame, I'm afraid. Suck it up, bitches.
Yeah, but no, he was, I guess...
How do you think you'd deal with it? Let's say all of a sudden...
I'd love it.
Would you love it?
Yeah.
Why?
Someone came to me and said, "Well, I really love this thing you did."
No, but if it happened all the time...
I think I'd be
Do you think you'd ever be able to get sick? Do you think you'd ever get sick of it?
No.
Ethan just wants to be loved.
No, not at all. I suppose if you're in the middle of, I get it when, like, I suppose if you're eating dinner, you're in a restaurant,
Yeah, but it's going to
or if
happen
you're with
there.
your
It's going to
family
happen
somewhere,
everywhere.
and someone comes up to talk to you. Because Joe Rogan mentions that a lot. He's just like, you wouldn't think that, like, even they could just wait for you to be leaving the restaurant, or they just come at you in the middle of your meal, or you got a steak in your fucking mouth, and they want you to sign something. That gets annoying. I can
Joe's
see
not
that,
even
I can
that
see
famous.
that, but I think the flip side of that is, I guess, you can't say, oh, I'm an actor, oh, I'm this, oh, I've got this script, would you look at it? And like people trying to fucking put things in your fucking
Get
hand.
a piece of you.
Yeah, so I suppose that's why Mick Jagger was a bit frosty with me. But I was literally giving it like a beer, like, you know, in a glass.
I want it in a glass.
So yeah, no one's. People keep ask that and they go, "Oh, what are people like?" You're like, everyone at these parties. I'm not sure if because they're PR, and the film people that are there, they're all just there, I guess, to chat and socialise. They don't stay for the entire night. They never get fucking wrecked. And
So what kind of parties is it that all the crazy drugs go down?
at those parties, but you don't see it.
Oh, okay. So you don't ever get some chick like really high that falls into a
The-
glass
the
coffee
party-
table
the
and blood
party
starts
I
oozing
worked-
out of her
The
head.
party I worked at with the most drugs was the UNICEF party
Oh yeah.
that Robbie Williams and Ewan McGregor sang Angels in a duet to. And David Cameron was there, the Prime Minister. And like you went into toilets, there was so much coke left in the toilets. And that means when there's that much coke left in the back of the toilets, people are that wrecked, they don't get it all together. And there's like, it looks like talcum powder on the backs of the toilets, and you can literally make up giant rock star lines of coke with all the
and get
dust.
high for free.
Yeah.
Sounds
That
amazing.
happens at these parties, obviously, but I think the real kind of stuff happens like off the books and upstairs in the mezzanine level, because they don't mix
okay.
it with kind of riffraff. They will just stand in the gallery area and
The
just
plebs
look
of
down.
society.
Yeah. Because you get bothered. Like, if I was down there and I was a famous fashion person, you'd get harassed by all people, because everyone's just like hangers on and wannabes and never gonna be's and weirdness. So yeah, that was kind of a wake up call.
Sounds horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Anyway.
yeah, Mark Strong was a lovely man. Michael Caine, to go back to your James Bond question, did play in a series of films. He played under a spy called Harry Palmer, which was an antithesis or an answer to the Bond films that were very famous in the 60s. And the two main, like, giant English stars, Scottish and English, whatever, was Michael Caine and Sean Connery. Connery, of course, was famous for playing Bond. And Michael Caine played he played a character called Harry Palmer in the Ipcrass File. He did I think he did 3 films, and it was like the flip side of Bond, where like it was like the
Stop getting Bond wrong.
It was the day-to-day grind of being a real spy. So it was just him like just doing like menial civil servant work and having to kill the occasional person in some like awful
fisticuffs.
kind of, yeah. It was like the grotty side of being a spy, what it probably actually is like
Yeah.
versus the glamour of
The
Bond,
reality, yeah.
which I've not seen them actually, so I might watch them.
Maybe you should.
But the Kingsman thing, why they wear those glasses, is a nod to those films, because Harry Palmer wears like National Health kind of black sunglasses, the regular reading glass. That's why the Kingsman in the Kingsman film wear that glasses.
They're like yours.
So it mixes Harry Palmer and Bond, and it all kind of the aesthetic of that obviously is very much that. But no, I've never seen the Ipcrass File in the Harry Palmer films. I would like to though, because I like Michael Caine.
Do
you
do
prefer
such
Michael Caine or Sean Connery? Do you
as
prefer?
what?
Just anything. What
No,
would
Sean.
If you're on a like desert island, you can go.
Sean.
You can take the back catalogue of any actor.
Sean.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I prefer.
I'll get him to
Michael.
smack him around. Get him to smack me around the
I think I
face.
prefer Michael.
Okay. I couldn't give a fuck.
I think he's got a more of a broad body of work.
Yeah, but we're not talking about.
Blame it on Rio when he has sex with the underage.
I've not
15-year-old
seen that though.
daughter of his
I've
best
only
friend.
heard of it and seen.
I went to Rio and had sex with a. I mean, you couldn't get away with that kind of storyline now.
No, but Sean Connery
Blame it
quite
on Rio.
openly hits women.
Yeah, but
I rest my case.
I love that.
Dude, that's sick. I can't imagine Michael Caine saying that
I'm
in
sure
an interview.
Sean regrets saying this. He's like,
I
yeah,
haven't changed my
I
opinion.
haven't changed my mind. either. It's like, really? He's like, yeah, fucking slap
It's
the bitch up.
absolute. Sometimes it's absolutely necessary. Oh, I thought it was amazing. He went massively up in my books for saying that. Just to have the fucking minerals and the balls to a female presenter. Oh, amazing. I'd love to have been in that audience. I'd have stood up and got my tits out for peace.
Well, she's Barbara Walters, isn't she?
Oh, I don't know who that
She's
is.
like a famous TV news.
Famous. Anyway,
we shall return with the next episode. You can find the music from the X-Men, the Grimsby trailer, with the charming and lovely favourite actor of my moment, Mark Strong. And I'll also put the
We love you, Mark.
Sean Connery discussing
Peace out.
slapping women, and that it's okay to hit a woman. So much so you go, yeah, maybe it is okay. Shut up, Ellie. Yeah, we'll return with episode
40.
No, we're episode 34.
Oh,
We go
34.
from minutes,
That's what I'm saying. Jesus.
we go from minute 66 to 68. So she'll return. We shall return. She will. Well, you will hopefully. We'll return
Tiswas.
then.
Who remembers Tiswas?
Not
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Ethan McKinley.
We'll be back. We'll try and cram in 5 or 6 shows before the week's out. That means Sunday, and we'll see you then.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Watch out for machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines.